very much. Well, my discussion with the president were cordial, and he appreciated the EFF's offer and said that it shouldn't be very difficult for them to come back to us with a clear, definite answer. So after the NEC, I'm going to have a meeting again with the president to have a final detail of what is the agreement. And we see that as a role that we're elected to play. We're not elected to be government, that's why we don't have a majority. But if we play any role in parliament, that's what we're elected to do. We are members of parliament, we can be chairpersons of parliament, we can be speaker of parliament. It's a responsibility which the electorate said, go and execute. So playing an oversight will not necessarily only mean that you must be in opposition and without any single position in the legislature or parliament. We remain an opposition in positions of committees, in positions of deputy speaker or a speaker. And that even makes that committee to be more effective, because departments are no longer going to go there knowing very well that they're going to enjoy the protection of the chairperson. So that will give the EFF the most efficient and effective way of holding the executive accountable. And that's why we think there is no contradiction in doing that. The interpretation I've given to you, it's a plan B. The first plan was to buy South Africa through the funding of political parties. That's why there is a party change which was given more than 30 million. It ended up not participating in the election. Then Rise Mzansi and all kind of political parties given huge millions. And what did South Africans do? Rejected those millions. So this answers the same question. What are you saying about the future funding by these institutions which have got control over the research institute, which have got control over the media? South Africans are going to become more and more wiser, and they've demonstrated during these elections that they cannot be bought. They rejected millions. The Oppenheimers were dishing out money unashamedly. When we say Oppenheimers, we mean all of those people. Oppenheimer is a representative of those multimillionaire families of the Ruperts and the Minels and all of them, who have been pumping money to try and manipulate the political landscape in South Africa, and that has successfully failed. So what do? We retreat back to our traditional political parties and then unite them. The IFP is not an organization outside the Oppenheimers. It was formed by them. Who in his rightful mind will give Tlhabisa 20 million? Because he can't even speak to that 20 million himself. So why would someone say, yes, 20 million to Tlhabisa? To do what with it? Tlhabisa was given 20 million and then he was pushed out of the campaign. The campaign was run by the chairperson and the premier candidate of the IFP in KZN. I found Tlhabisa campaigning in Malamulele. I'm like, what is he doing in Malamulele? That's how much was pushed out of the campaign. But the money was put inside the IFP, because the IFP is an entity of the Oppenheimer family. You have all seen at the Prince Mangosuthu Buthelez's funeral, where no less than 4 members of the Oppenheimer family are in attendance. There is a video of them greeting President Ramaphosa at Prince Mangosuthu Buthelez's funeral. The Oppenheimers did not go to Mandela's family. They were not a factor in Mandela's family, a funeral. The Oppenheimers did not go to Obama's lecture in Johannesburg about Mandela, that memorial, what. They were not playing any role. But in the Prince Mangosuthu Buthelez's funeral, they played a prominent role. Why? The Oppenheimers wanted Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi to be the first black president of South Africa. They never believed in the ANC and Nelson Mandela. That's why when Nelson Mandela's first meetings outside South Africa, he was asked by Britain as to what is going to be the role of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi in your cabinet when you win the elections. So Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi and the IFP have always been the project of the Oppenheimer family. The DA, it goes without saying. They control it. Now, they've got hold on the president of the ANC, and the situation demand that they must all come together. The DA complained and supported the impeachment of the president. The DA complained about Paul Mashatile. The DA complained about all the corrupt people. All of a sudden, they've got nothing to say about those people. That is an indication that someone came to take out the brain and said, we're moving this direction and we don't want to be questioned. Why would all of a sudden the DA see holy and good leadership in the ANC when they've not throughout the years? Is because when the numbers put together, the Oppenheimers see that they will still continue to be in charge. So the ANC played with an opportunity to isolate imperialist forces and the white monopoly capital in South Africa. This was an opportune moment for progressive political formations to come together. The president says to me, we cannot form the GNU without a DA because we want a non-racial GNU. I asked him a question. Are you saying the ANC is not a non-racial organization? Because the ANC is a non-racial organization without the DA. So why would it say, when it comes to government, if there's no DA, we are not non-racial? But when they run their daily activities, including in their constitution, they are non-racial. I said to the president, there are white people in the ANC, in the EFF, in all the progressive formations. White people are found there. If it's about the question of non-racialism, we can still find white people from amongst ourselves. It's not the question of non-racialism. We are not opposed to white people. We are opposed to white supremacy. We are opposed to racism. We are opposed to Afrikanerdom. We are opposed to white monopoly capital. Any other progressive name that gets to be put forward by the president of a white person, Indian person, colored person, African person, as long as that is a progressive name, will support it. I said to the president, we voted for the DA in 2016, where you, comrades, were arrogantly defying and denying us an opportunity to work together in 2016. We said to you, let's work together. You said, no, we don't want to work with you in the arrogant manner you are doing. What did we do? We pulled out where the DA was defeating you. We folded our hands. And I said to him, to show you it's not a question of race, and don't leave here saying I'm anti-white people. In 2016, we refused to participate in municipalities with the DA led by a black person. It was led by Maimani. In Joburg, it was led by Mashaba. We still said, we don't care who are the faces. This organization is a tool for imperialism and for white monopoly capital. So it's not about color. It's about the party that represents backwardness, a party that is a racist organization, a party like Freedom Front that says part of its conditions to go into a coalition is that we must declare Orania as a white Afrikaner land. And you say to us, we must go and participate in such a coalition. We'll never do that. Remember, when you are in cabinet, once you are defeated in argument, those decisions are binding on you. As a disciplined member of cabinet, you must go and defend that Orania must be a land of the Afrikaners. We will not do that. We will rather die without occupying positions in government than to allow white supremacists and racists to thrive. Fighters, inclusive government should not mean a compromise on the principle. We are for inclusive government. That's why we said today, we are the first political party to say to the ANC, we will work with you. But because we understood the element of inclusive government and government of national unity. But it does not mean we must sleep with Zionists with our eyes open. We're not going to do that. We said to the people of Palestine, We said to the Muslim communities everywhere in South Africa, the vote and the victory of the EFF is a victory of the people of Palestine. Those Muslims who voted for the EFF, those Muslims who have voted for the ANC, what are you saying to them when you go immediately in bed with the people who have supported a genocide, the killing of innocent women and children, and we must close our eyes in the name of inclusive government and overlook humanity? We will not do that as the EFF. President Ramaphosa has always been a project of these people. From school, he went straight to work for Urban Foundation, to work for the Oppenheimers. President Ramaphosa formed NUM. He has never been a mine worker. He has never been underground. From school straight, he was given money with other colleagues to form an NUM that was funded directly by the Oppenheimers. How does NUM, which had a policy conference over the weekend, sing a song, Sebenza kanzima, we're not being paid money, we're paid peanuts, and then one of the people who joins them in singing that song is Pravin Gordhan. They even get addressed by Pravin Gordhan, who's in cahoots with these mines that are exploiting the mine workers. That's a huge contradiction. It can clearly indicate to you that these people do not mean anything they are saying. So this is the end of the ANC. It is not of our own making. The ANC is not dying because the EFF is growing. The ANC is dying a natural death. With or without Zuma, the projections were the way they are now. Before the formation of MKP, the research showed that the ANC is going to go below 50%. And Mbalula pulled it below 30%. At some point on the board, it went below 40% for real. So this is the end of it. Because you cannot say you want to change the property relations and you engage in the struggle for land, and then you go into cahoots with the people who are actually opposed to that struggle for the land. So South Africans, there is a story being peddled that we are flip-floppers because in 2016 we worked with DA and today we say we can't work with DA. Let's put it on record, lazy readers and lazy thinkers and people with a memory of a chicken, go and check those facts. We have never worked with the DA. We said we are going to fold our arms because the ANC was arrogantly engaging us. We folded our arms and the DA dealt with them. And today you want to now turn the whole thing and say the EFF worked with the DA. We never worked with the DA. We never had an MMC under the DA government. We never had a speaker under the DA government. We never asked that which we are asking from the ANC, from the DA. There's an opportunity for progressive forces to align. When we say progressive forces, the people say you are saying black parties. There are no black parties. We are not a black party. We are a progressive force of the left. We are saying the progressive forces must align. I told President very clear that maybe sometimes this thing rings nicely in your ear when the DA says we'll work only with the ANC of Ramaphosa. It's not true. The ANC of Ramaphosa lost in Tshwane, in Joburg, in Tekwini, in Ikuruleni, and PE. Why didn't the DA offer the president what he is offering them now? Why didn't the DA say there is no outright winner? Come ANC of Ramaphosa, let's work together in Tshwane. If this situation we're in now, was the DA in this situation with 40% and Freedom Front with 11% and ACDP with 5%, we're not going to be talking these things we're talking. They would have united and isolated all the progressive forces. And I'm not speculating. I'm telling you facts. Go and check in Tshwane, where the DA has got no outright majority. Did it invite the ANC of Ramaphosa because they can only work with the ANC of Ramaphosa? The ANC is under Ramaphosa now, in Tshwane, in Joburg, in Ekurhuleni. Why is the DA not inviting him? It is because Ramaphosa suffers from inferiority. He cannot work without white supervision. To invite the DA is to invite supervisors. It's not to invite progressive white people to come and join hands with us to rebuild South Africa. So we reject this government with everything it deserves, for as long as it puts in white supremacists, it puts in Afrikanerdom, it puts in colonialism and imperialism. Will not be part of the neo-colonial government. Comrades and everybody else who seek to persuade us otherwise, we are making a plea: leave us alone. If this is our natural death, let us die with our boots on.